Konko Talk. Konko Talk. Aloha, everyone. Thank you very much for listening to this program. Konko Talk is a program where people in the Konko Faith talk about various topics. The thought and opinion we may share on this program may differ from yours, but we hope that you will enjoy and learn something new. Perhaps you will learn something new that may affect our thought, behaviors, and affects actions for the better. Our different backgrounds, religions, thoughts, and culture provide a diversity that strengthens our community, just like biodiversity is essential for a healthy planet Earth. I'm Koichi Konko from the Konko Mission of Honolulu. Joining me are Amy and Edna. Hi. And
Hello.
hello. And today we have a special guest, our listener, Rin. Welcome to Konko Talk.
Hello. Thank you, everybody, for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you. So
I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited too. So today, I'd like to hear from you actually as a listener. Because how long are you listening to Konko Talk?
I've been listening to Konko Talk since about episode 3.
Oh,
So
3.
around episode 3, I've been listening to Konko Talks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. How many years? Only 2, 3 years, I guess.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Yeah.
thank you. And how long actually in Konko Faith? When?
This is going on my 4th year of being in the
4th
Konko
year.
Faith.
Wow.
So I had my Konko-versary last year at the conference. It happened, it coincided with me being at the conference, my 3-year Konko-versary.
Wow.
Oh, nice. So I'm curious how to find Konko Faith and how to find Konko Talk, us.
Okay, so the Konko Faith that's a whole story in and of itself.
Yeah.
Because with the Konko Faith, I found that out through a friend of mine's, and she likes to do research and stuff, and she found out about the Konko Faith because I had been praying to Tenchi Kane No Kami-sama. I had been praying to Kami-sama I had been calling Kami-sama the cosmic kindness, and I'd been praying to them because I felt like there was this force above all else that was communicating with me. And this was during a very hard time of my life. I was going through a lot where I was living, and it was really hard, and I was struggling really bad. And then I felt this like overwhelming love and presence that came to me, and I didn't know what to call it, so I just called it the cosmic kindness. And I would write it letters, I would talk to it, I let our relationship over a whole month just grow until I finally confided in this friend and I said, "Hey, have you ever thought of like a deity that's beyond everything that you've ever experienced ever?" And she said, "That sounds something familiar. Let me get back to you on that." And then she sent me a Shine From Within, a PDF copy of Shine From Within. And I remember reading the first page and bursting into tears because I realized that the force I was talking to was Tenchi Kane No Kami. And during this hardship of my life when I had nothing and no one to turn to, Kami-sama said to me, "Ask me for anything and I will make it all." And then my life completely changed. And now I'm here today.
Great.
And within a month's time, I was taken out of that situation, that abusive situation I was in. I was moved back to the States because I was in the Virgin Islands at the time. And then I went to the New York, New Jersey gathering literally the week after I moved back to the States. It was happening, coinciding in the same time. And Hashimoto Sensei handed me my first prayer book and my first copy of Shine From Within, the physical copy. And then I reached out to the San Francisco church and talked to Roddy Sensei for the first time. We had Toritsugi mediation, and the rest is history.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. How about the Konko Talk?
Konko Talks, I started trying to find anything and everything I could find out about Konko, and I joined the Konko Discord, the unofficial Konko Kyo Discord, and I started talking to someone there, and we started talking about Konko Talks, and I started realizing, hey, there's a podcast. So then I started listening to it from there, and it helped me learn about other people and develop my faith more, as well as going to church. Well, not physically, but because I'm a remote believer, attending church services, reading my Gorokai, just constantly developing my faith, and definitely doing Toritsugi every week, almost twice a week every week. I fully believe that we can't do anything. The One of the foundations of this faith is Toritsugi, and not doing Toritsugi and not being connected with our churches, you're just learning knowledge. You're not really deepening the faith. And one of the ways to deepen faith is by connecting through the church.
Thank you. And Sensei, Amy, do you have any question? Something
Nope.
you'd like to ask?
Well, I had the pleasure of talking to Rin at the conference in Sacramento last summer, and it was such a pleasure and wow, very inspiring. So I thought we must have her in one of our Konko talks. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I noticed you have a Konko t-shirt and a necklace too.
Yeah, I noticed too.
I should have worn mine.
You know what? I wore this, but it was not because I thought I would be on camera. I did not think I'd be on camera. I wear my necklace all the time, but like I was wearing my Konko shirt this evening because I was doing like some studies and stuff, and I have because I was a treasure hunter. So as the Konko Review and the Konko Review and the publication divisions, we were looking for stories of Konko believers. And when we did that, everyone who submitted a story and got a certain number of points got a shirt or a hoodie. And I was able to earn enough points, and I got like a white hoodie, which is the same Konko symbol, and there's a tree on the back. And it says Treasure Hunters, Konko Treasure Hunters. And that's in the white hoodie, and it's also on the black shirt as well.
So nice.
That is awesome. So I mean, this is our first time meeting. I'm sorry, I don't know much about you. I was supposed to get some background on you, and I probably missed that email.
I didn't know I was supposed to send.
I don't know. Koichi Sensei had asked, I think might have asked Edna to send some background on you just so that I would be familiar. Regardless, very nice to meet you. And your story is just so incredible. It's so inspiring, especially for someone like myself that was born into the religion. I feel that I don't have your dedication to learning about the religion. And I just find that very inspiring. And thank you so much for joining us today. Looking forward to hearing more of your insight as a person fairly new to the religion, but you're probably more educated on this stuff than I will ever be. So I am really looking forward to learning more from you.
I mean, it's a very different point of view. And I've noticed that from people who I've seen who have been in the faith, a lot of them have said the same thing that you're saying, like, you know more than I do. And I don't try to accumulate knowledge. I just try to accumulate faith. Like, because knowledge can help you, but it can only go so far. Faith is something that you have to develop with your connection to Kami-sama or Konko-sama. You can't, it's just, you can't fake it. It just has to happen. And it's like I've seen people who know more than me, right? Who have tons of knowledge, texts, all these things. And I look at them and I just don't see faith. I see knowledge. And without it going hand in hand, it's one-sided. You need both of the things. I've known people who don't really know much about physical texts or things like that, and yet they exude faith because they go through everything that happens and their faith is so strong. There's been stories of people in different parts of the world who've only even had a single prayer book and held on to that for years and nothing else. And those stories are what inspire me, because even if I don't know everything, at least I know I can develop my heart and my heart of Kami and keep growing. So if Amy, really, the sky's the limit for you. You were grown into the faith. You have tons of resources, but you know what? It was pushed into you from those who love you, those who nurtured you. You were born into the faith, and so you already have foundation of strong shoulders to stand on, and you can only go but up. And I'm so happy to meet you. I've been so excited to meet you.
Dang it, now you're gonna make me cry. That's so beautiful. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I do have a large advantage in my faith development, being born into it. At the same time, it's very easy to forget that when you're going through stuff. Do you mind elaborating a little bit, if you don't mind, about the situation you were in when you discovered Konko-kyo?
Sure. When I was living in the Virgin Islands, I was living with my mother, and I wasn't raised with my mother. We were estranged. I was raised by my grandmother, who no longer is with us. And because my mother, she had a lot of problems. She was an alcoholic. She was drug user. She was not fit to raise the 6 children that she had.
Mm.
And when I met my mother when I was very young, she was very abusive and it was a very hard situation. I had been kicked out of a place that I had been living in North Carolina, my niece's house, where I had went down there to go live with them to take care of their children, and she started doing things that she shouldn't have. And I had to leave. And my mother said, "Come live with us in the Virgin Islands," because I had nowhere else to go. And my mother, even though she was clean and she was no longer on drugs, she didn't know how to mother. And she was rather harsh. She did things as if she was a woman in her teens and I was the one parenting. On top of that, I was working at a place that saw me as an outsider, and this happens a lot of times where I'll start working somewhere and everyone just gets really upset because I'm very upbeat and really happy. I was working in a funeral home. I was working in the florist shop, the part of the funeral home, and we were making burial wreaths. And to me, I wasn't just making burial wreaths and just meeting a quota. I felt pulled to every burial wreath I made to make it with the utmost love and compassion and prayers that I could. So every burial wreath I made, I didn't just use random flowers or anything like that. I gave it time and attention and love. And when people came to us grieving, I was always very kind to them and supportive of them because I knew it must really hurt to be burying someone they loved. My coworkers were not like this. They were very jaded. They didn't like anybody. They're just like, just get him in and get him out. But I could not be this way. I was not going to be this way. That's not the person I am. And because that wasn't the person I was, my coworkers who originally did like me from when they first met me started to not like me because I started getting compliments. People around the island would say, I want to come there and talk to the girl who's really nice, who's really helpful. And I started getting a reputation of being the really sweet, helpful, kind person. So then my coworker started doing very mean, hazy things. And it got so bad that I had to finally, my mother said, just suck it up and take it. Like, you just need to suck it up. Just keep your job. But I talked to Kami-sama, or at the time, the Cosmic Kindness. And they told me, to tell my manager. And I was terrified, thinking that I was going to be in trouble, that this was like going to be a division. And I sat there and I told my manager said, you need, like, I'll fire all of them. Whatever you want me to do, like, I'll support you. I said, no, I want to talk to them. And she said, okay, I'll support you. So I prayed, I gathered my courage, and I talked to them and I confronted them. I said, I told them everything that I had done for them. I told them, when have I ever done anything mean to you? When have I ever said anything mean to you? When have I ever hurt you? When have I ever done anything wrong? Anytime you've ever needed help, have I not been there? Have I not tried? Have I not supported you? So why are you treating me this way? And they said, because they were jealous. They said, you came out of nowhere and everybody likes you and you became better than us and we don't like that. But after that situation, those hazing stopped. And after that situation, I was able to move back to the mainland. I wouldn't have had the courage to do any of that. I wouldn't have had the courage without that belief that instilled in me. Kami-sama was saying, ask me for anything. At literally the month before Kami-sama stepped into my life, I had nothing. My mother was taking all of my money. I had nothing. I had nothing. And then throughout my life, it's just a lot of times where I have nothing and Kami-sama gives me everything. Then I have nothing. Kami-sama gives me everything. My life is nothing but a cycle. But that's okay because every time I'm able to help someone new, every time I'm able to grow a little bit deeper, a little bit stronger, every time I'm knocked down, I get right back up. Said, you know what, you hit like a ready.
Gosh, it's such an amazing story. Such an amazing story. On this podcast, we discussed, I think it was a few podcasts ago, Edna shared about that doctor that was just mean, right? And then you're nodding, you're like, yeah, I remember
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
mad. I was mad. I was like, how dare you? But I understood. I fully understood. Like, just taking the grace of Kami-sama and then not retaliating, but doing the next right thing.
Right. Thank
Exactly.
you for sharing such a deep story. I know it wasn't easy to share that with us and everybody that will listen to this, but I really appreciate you for doing that.
I'm actually pretty much a very open book. Because I feel as though my story is meant to be shared, like all of our stories, because you never know who it will help.
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
which reminds me of the poem I actually wrote called "There's a Story Within Your Story."
And these things that happen in our lives that are unpleasant, really unpleasant, they really are like the time when we'll have a bigger growth spurt, I think, of faith. For me, that's for me. And I feel like it's a challenge that Kami-sama just throws at me for me to grow a little bit and not just stay where I am. And although it's really difficult, again, with the Toritsugi mediation, I'm saved every time. I keep going back again. New problem, keep going back to the mediation. Actually, every day I go to mediation, and it has really helped me a big deal.
Like, I know people who don't do Toritsugi mediation and people who can do Toritsugi mediation. And if I have one last thing to say, if there's anything that I want to say on this podcast today, I want to say, please, as listeners, if you are a Konko believer, do Toritsugi mediation with your minister. Go talk to your minister. Please, they are there to help you. They are there to support you. They are there to guide you. Your minister will be there to support you. Your minister is always there to guide you. Toritsugi is one of the foundational parts of our faith. That is something that Kami-sama put us here with Konko Daijin-sama to save us. It is a saving faith. This faith is meant to save us, to help us guide for the next generation, to help us guide for the future and help all of humanity. The ministers are our point of contact to going to Kami-sama. Yes, we can pray, but the understanding and guidance that coming from a minister is so amazing because it's not just the minister you're talking to. Kami-sama is talking through that minister to you, and their lessons will guide you. So please, if there is anything that I say on this podcast today that resonates with anyone, it is to please do Toritsugi mediation.
Well said. Well said. Yes. I always try to tell people that a Toritsugi mediation is very much like a spiritual toilet bowl. And if our hearts are full of negativity of any kind, then it's going to be full. Our cup is going to be just full of negativity. And with that, you won't be able to put anything in it that's positive. So really, like the Toritsugi mediation seed is like you're dumping out all the junk stuff in your heart, all the negativity, so your cup can be empty where you can put all the good stuff inside. Yeah.
It's
So
meant to sit there and like cleanse your spirit. It's a cleansing. It's a cleansing act.
yeah.
I also believe, just like going bathroom, a bowel movement, you need to have a bowel movement regularly so you can keep good health. So just like that, going to Toritsugi is, constantly or regularly is important to keep, mentally, physically, spiritually healthy body, mind. So I want to recommend everybody to go Toritsugi mediation often, or at least, regularly. You can decide maybe once a week or once a month. It's up to you. But if you go more, you can cleanse your body so you can keep good health. Some people told me that, I don't want to bother you. Please bother me.
I'm here for you to bother me, right?
Yes.
And that's the thing. The ministers want to be wanted. They want to help. They want to help. They want to guide.
Right. And I think the really amazing thing about Konko Kyo is it's basically like spiritual counseling. But for counseling, like real counseling, you go see a doctor and they charge you a lot of money. But in Konko Kyo, it's like free. But if you happen to be saved, you can offer a portion of what you want to. We don't have like a price. Oh yeah, you have to offer this much money for all the blessings you receive. It's whatever you feel in your heart. And there's no compulsory donations. There's no membership dues. And Todd Sensei, he even says that Konko Kyo is one of the poorest religions because we don't ask for money. But the blessings you can receive are priceless. So Toritsugi mediation. That's really awesome.
I actually have some questions for all of you.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Can I start with Amy?
Oh my.
Amy, it's not that I'm checking on you. It's just that you're also a fellow lay believer like me. So
Yes.
it's easier to connect into one. I want to know about you. I met
Bring
Edna
it.
Sensei and Koichi Sensei. Time to know Amy. All right. So what is your favorite Konko teaching and why?
Gosh, you're going to hit me with
You're
that.
starting off hard.
Dang. Favorite Konko teaching. Then when I'm put on the spot, I can't think of anything. Oh gosh. It's not a teaching. It's just the idea of we're talking about the Toritsugi mediation place, the okekai being kuboi. Is it kuboi tokoro?
Yeah, kuboi tokoro.
Yeah.
A lower place.
Lower place, that concept. So to be 100% honest, giving Toritsugi mediation, it's easier for me now, but as a child growing up, I hated it. I despised it. It was more of a chore. It was something that my parents made me do. I didn't understand the benefit of it. And then, because the minister at the okekai is my dad or my mom. Last person I want to be telling my stuff to. So I'm not going to say anything to the person. And now it's Koichi sensei, and it's like, and he will tell you, I'm barely there. I'm a ghost here. I live upstairs, but I'm a ghost. But I do find myself when I really need it. I go to the okekai, and then that, just knowing that it is a low place, it's a kuboi tokoro, and there's no judgment. That's a concept that I had to get used to and remind myself constantly of. To be able to do Toritsugi mediation, you really have to be vulnerable, I feel like, to really get a good Toritsugi session. But you have to be willing to be vulnerable. And so, Ning, I think it's very admirable that you're able to do that. You say you're an open book, but that's not always an easy thing to do and be. So, I guess that concept, would be my favorite thing about Konko Kyo that I can think of right now. Ask me tomorrow and it'll be something different.
But that's good. That's good. That means that you constantly have something that you look forward to and something that makes you grow. And that's really great. And I'm actually curious actually now, when did your changing from Toritsugi mediation from childhood? Because I actually do Toritsugi mediation. Literally, I will do a Toritsugi mediation with any minister I can encounter, because I feel like every minister has a different voice to them of kami-sama, and every minister has something to them that brings out more of kami-sama. So I like to do Toritsugi mediation not just with the ministers from my churches, from other churches as well, because I feel as though there's so much you can learn. And for me, that's like a big blessing to be able to learn so much from different people. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about Konko Kyo is that you can, I guess one of the best things about me being a remote believer is that I have no church physically close to me. So I reach out to other churches more and to find more and connect with them more. Because there's a desperation in me. That desperation doesn't let go. So I would love to have mediation with Koichi sensei. I would love to have mediation with Edna sensei. I would love to have mediation with Reiko sensei and Yano sensei. I would love to have mediation with all these people because there's so much to learn. Why limit myself when we're a faith that we're supposed to share with each other? We're supposed to be a universal community, not any one person holding on to one people, but everyone sharing and growing together.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and to build on that, I kind of believe that I receive mediation through not just sensei, through other members, through talking to you today, through talking with my friends. It's Kami-sama will reveal teachings and blessings in everyday situations, in any kind of situation. It's whether you have the eyes to or the heart to accept what is being taught to you, what you're being showed. To answer your question about when it changed, gosh, I would say probably after I was living in Japan. I had the honor to teach English conversation for 3 years in Okayama, in Konko town, at Koichi sensei's old school. And I lived literally down the road from headquarters. And I think it was after that, by no means, while I lived in Konko, I still hesitated to do Toritsugi. I had the opportunity. I was there in Konko town, and I still didn't take advantage of the fact that I could go at any time I wanted to headquarters and seek mediation with Konko-sama or whoever was sitting there. That's a little bit of a regret. But I think after I came home from Konko, maybe, it started kind of changing from around there. So I was well into adulthood. And then I think, I can't even remember when it was. I don't know if you remember, Edna, when Todd Sensei asked me to make that little video clip about Toritsugi. It's somewhere in the internet, somewhere floating around. And I talked about, I sat in what is now Koichi Sensei's house upstairs, and he tucked me in the kitchen, facing the computer in the kitchen on the counter, and had me just talk about what I thought about Toritsugi. And this kind of like, look back at it and I kind of sound like a hypocrite because I'm telling everybody to do Toritsugi when I wasn't exactly comfortable 100% yet doing Toritsugi. I was just kind of slowly starting to get a little more comfortable with it. I think it's one of those things you just have to kind of practice. Like, so while I was in Japan, I did Toritsugi with my uncle in Futsukaichi Church, and so that made me a little more comfortable doing that. And then I had a little more opportunities to like go to Amagi Church and do Toritsugi with Oya Sensei. I think that kind of stuff, like it just making myself do it, and then it kind of flows a little easier. The one point where I knew that I was much more comfortable with doing Toritsugi was when I had friends from Japan, teacher friends from Japan, come visit Maui Church, and my brother was sitting at the Okekkai. My brother Roy was sitting at the Okekkai, and he thought he was going to be smart and be like, let's hear it, let's hear some Toritsugi from you. And I guess I was able to fluidly say all the blessings and thank him thank Kami-sama for bringing my friends over to Maui safely. We had a great trip. They're having fun and all this kind of stuff. And I took it as a really nice compliment when he said, well, you actually was able to tell me these, do Toritsugi kind of fluidly. And I was, it was kind of like a big brother teasing his little sister and stuff at the same time. But honestly, as a little sister, I was like, yeah, I can do that. In your face, bruh. It was a slow process, I think, because when I look back as a child, I was scared actually of the Okekkai in a lot of ways, to approach a sensei and any sensei and ask or talk to them at the Okekkai it was so scary for me. Yeah.
Right. Especially it felt really intimidating when I'm at Gohonbu when I was younger to do otodoke to Konko-sama. Because it's like, once I go up there, all I could say was like, oh, arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you. Yep. Thank you for all the blessings. Thank you. I don't have anything else. I just feel so nervous. But as I grew older, I've become more comfortable to say whatever that's on my mind. Actually, it's really good to have a list. I wrote a list so I don't get stuck. And I'm like, oh yeah, I have to talk about this and this and this and this and this. And it'll make my otoroke flow more smoothly. Because I do feel that place is really powerful, Gohonbu especially. Yes. So
I can't wait to go one day.
My thoughts organized. And plus there are people waiting and backing me too, right? So yeah, it's really a great experience. And this past February, we went to Gohonbu. Actually, end of January, beginning February, we went to Gohonbu with our family, and I was able to do otoroke. And during that time, Reverend Kyoji Konko Sensei, he told me to do otodoke in English to Rokurai Konko-sama, the sixth Konko-sama. And that really surprised me because I thought only he was able to understand English. But he says, no, you can. You can talk to the sixth Konko-sama in English. So I was like, okay, shoots. And let me do this in English tomorrow then, like tomorrow morning. And then I woke up early with my mom and I was able to do full-on otodoke in English. And he listened. Yeah. So it was a great opportunity.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, questions. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
I have set questions for you too.
Oh, me?
I have questions for everybody.
Okay, sure.
I have multiple questions. So this one, I was about to ask you, the one question I want to ask was, how was it being raised in Konko Town? But I find that I would like to find that out another way. So I want to ask you a harder question.
Yes.
What direction would you like to see the faith go?
What do you mean?
Like, where would you like to see the faith as we are going? What direction?
Oh, I see. I think, well, for myself, always think I like to welcome anybody to Toritsugi mediation seat. And each church should open to community in that way. Anybody can come say anything to Toritsugi mediator. That's just like a founder time. So as a not like an organization, but more like an individual Toritsugi mediator, work and follow the founder's footsteps. So I think in myself that I pray that I can share Konko Faith in English and the way of a founder's life in English, and also pray that anybody who in trouble can come and share their problem in at the Toritsugi mediation seat, so that the person can be saved through Toritsugi mediation. So always focus on Toritsugi mediation. That's, I think, really important.
I think
I'm,
that's a
answer-
really good. Yeah,
I'm
that's a good
answering your
answer.
question. Okay.
Yeah, that is answering a question because Toritsugi mediation is our foundation. It's our foundation. It's
Yeah, it
how
is
our
our
founder
foundation.
started. So without it, we can't go anywhere.
Right.
Yeah,
Pivotal.
we should make like T-shirts or like bumper stickers that says, "Did you Toritsugi?"
Yeah, don't know Toritsugi. And for Edna Sensei,
Hi.
so what makes you keep growing yourself and growing in the faith?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, how like when I have challenges, that will be like my little growth spurt moment, I think. That's when I really start to focus on Kami-sama and Konko-sama and I pray really, really, really hard. Well, I do pray every day, but like those moments when you're pressed, when you're challenged, when you're cornered, that's when I feel myself praying like extremely hard. Those are my growth spurts. So experiencing those from time to time is what makes me grow. And I also feel that my faith for each decade, I guess, has really changed. Like my thoughts have really changed over the years. As I'm in my 40s right now, it's definitely different from my faith when I was in my teens or my 20s. And to notice that and to be excited for like, oh, I wonder how my faith is going to be when I'm in my 50s or my 60s or my 70s if I reach that that age. And I look forward to how my faith will develop from here on.
Yeah, that's really, I love that answer.
Cute.
And we're going to go back to Amy.
Yes.
So, what are your belief challenges you had or you're currently struggling with?
Ooh. One more time. What are my belief challenges?
That you have had or are you currently struggling with?
I think one of the things I struggle with, there's a lot of stuff I struggle with. I guess kind of building on what Edna was saying about tough times, being in tough times. Yeah, I think I struggle with that a lot when I'm presented with a challenge in life, whatever it might be. And there's no real explanation in my rationale as to why it's happening. And then, like that's when I feel like my faith shakes. It's like, if there was really a Kami-sama, then why would he have allowed Lahaina fires to happen? But then there's always that, like I say that, like when I'm going through the tough time, it's hard to see that. But somehow there's always, a lot of times it's on this podcast that we'll be recording and we'll be talking about stuff like this. And I'm made to see where the blessing in something like that is. Yeah, made to realize that there is a Kami-sama, there is a reason why I put through challenging situations and things like that. This is turning into my crying session again. I hate that.
I'm so sorry.
It's not your fault.
I'm so sorry.
No, so like this is kind of one of the examples that I can see where Kami-sama is probably talking to me through you. It often happens on this podcast. It's there. Kami-sama often talks to me through Koichi Sensei or through Edna Sensei. Today it's through you. And it's so interesting that you ask me about if I'm going through challenges currently. Koichi Sensei will tell you that I'm, like I mentioned earlier, I'm like a ghost here. I live upstairs. I rent a room in the Honolulu church. You will hardly see me downstairs at a service. Not something I'm proud of. It's just I have struggles that I find it hard to deal with some people and in situations. Damn, I'm going to piss a lot of people off probably. But it's more of a personal thing. I have some struggles that I find it a little difficult for me to sit through a service. I still pray from my own little altar in my room. I do my own little gokiden in my room. yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of like mental health struggles right now for me, I think. Like mental wellness, just where I struggle to see the blessings that I have. I'm well aware that I have them. Logically, I know I have them. It's just there are certain situations that I'm in that I find myself in that it makes it hard to remember that I am blessed to even be here. That I
You
don't
can
know.
call to me.
Yeah.
If you ever want to call me, you can call me.
Oh
You can
my
take my
God.
number.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mhm.
But one thing I will say is that there's two things actually I want to say. The first thing is when you're going to church, people are people everywhere. There's all different people. They're not there. There's not there. And if you want to, like, you're going to church for Kami-sama, Konko-sama, but if you ever need to go to church when there's not a service happening, just to sit in the church, you could do that too. That's perfectly fine. Kami-sama's everywhere. Or you could sit outside while the service is happening. Kami-sama is everywhere. And if you're not comfortable around those people and you can't get over that yet, Kami-sama will meet you where you are. Kami-sama will meet you wherever you are.
See, Kami-sama is talking to me through you. No, yeah, it's very, that reminds me of something my mom also told me that, because there are so many churches and so many different sensei. When doing Toritsugi mediation or kind of thinking about your faith or whatever it is, never, inevitably, people are people. There's different people, and people don't always mesh. Same, sensei is a human, believers are humans. There's bound to be times when we don't mesh. And I remember my mom saying that, the sensei that is sitting at the okekkai is not that person. He or she is a representation, just like you said earlier, Ning, representation of Kami-sama. She said something along the lines of sensei o miru na, hito o miru na. Don't look at the human, look at Kami-sama. Very hard to remember a lot of times, honestly. But yeah, that's exactly what you're saying. Always keep your eyes on Kami-sama, not on the flawed humans that are sitting in front of you. Yeah.
And it's hard when there's personalities. It's really hard.
Yeah.
But if you can't do that, if you can't do that church, you could always go to another one service somewhere else. I don't think Koichi Sensei is going to mind. I think what matters more is that you're going to find your place where your heart needs to heal. Because right now your heart's not healing. You're in a lot of pain.
Thank you.
Sorry. I'm sorry for calling you out in the middle of the podcast. I just
This
caught
is
it
like
like
therapy.
yeah.
How much do I owe you?
Let's go to Koichi Sensei.
Yeah, sure.
What is a faith teaching that keeps pushing you to improve?
Teaching,
A faith teaching that keeps pushing you to improve.
improve. But I think one of the teaching I like to share is that's a teaching. Those who believe in Kami are allowed to enjoy themselves in everything they do. Serving at the Hiroma is a pleasure. Merchandising and farming are also pleasures. Everyone between heaven and earth is delightfully and gratefully receiving pleasures. So I think it did help me to do any kind of church work, goyo. Sometimes it's so stressed out. I have to this or that, or nobody helped me, or something like that. When I have a negative feeling on that, on goyo or whatever, and this teacher reminded me we're allowed to do so with Kami-sama help, and it's supposed to be pleasure because we are feeling or experiencing Kami-sama's help, Kami-sama's intention and support while we're doing our best. Even the stress out, still Kami-sama there, here for us, so that I can find blessings and that help me to move on, give me energy to move forward. So I try to remember this teaching in Japanese, like you're playing, you're enjoying what you're doing, like a game or whatever you like. So that's helped me a lot, especially when stressed out.
That's a really good teaching. Thank you, Koichi Sensei.
Yeah.
I'm going to remember
Thank you.
that.
Yeah. That teaching kind of reminds me of what Reverend Kyoji Konko told me, or told several people. He mentioned that it's okay to live in abundance because Kami-sama wants us to live like that. Because we know we grew up really poor, so to even like go on vacation seemed like a sin almost. Like we're not allowed to spend money to go have fun. So everything was church related. Any trip to Japan was church related and nothing more. We would never go to tourist locations or anything. But once I got married to my husband, he likes to go to Japan every year and for vacation. And I've never gone on a vacation before meeting my husband. So I felt kind of bad at first. I was like, oh, I hope I don't get any bachi or anything. But after listening to that teaching, that we are allowed to, enjoy life, that we can live in abundance through, of course, the blessings of Kami-sama, through acknowledgement of that everything is because of Kami-sama.
It's a really good teaching as well. I need to remember that because I've never been outside of faith stuff. I've never been on a vacation myself, so I understand. I live in quite poverty. The question I have for you, Edna Sensei, is would you ever consider opening another church or community faith center somewhere?
Oh, it's so funny because my mom, when we were all little kids or babies almost, she had a prayer, strong prayer for each one of us, all three of siblings. So the oldest brother, David, my mom says he's going to take over the Wahiwa church. And for Rodney Sensei, I want him to go to Europe to propagate the faith. And for Edna, our youngest child, I want her to open a church in Mililani. And I was like,
Wow.
oh, that's so interesting. Well, David, he helps out at the Wahira Church. Well, he didn't go to Europe, but he did go pretty far
Yeah.
to San Francisco Church. And me, well, I didn't establish no church in Mililani, but I live in Waipio, which is the next town over to Mililani. And of course, I didn't establish no church there yet. I feel like me and my husband, we work towards, well, we kind of have like our own, it's not even like a church group, but it's like some kind of like a spiritual club almost. And I feel like when people gather at our different clubs, like for example, the Gumpla, the Gundam, the plastic model kit club, Clayton, he's like the founder of it already, of the Gumpla Hawaii. People come, like 30 people, 40 people. The most we had was like 70 people. They come and bring their kits, and we're all in the like-mindedness, and no one talks bad about each other or nothing. It's always this positive energy, and we go home feeling really good and happy. And even for the karate, he's also a karate instructor, and twice a week, I follow my husband, and we go to the dojo, and he teaches karate. And like, especially during the pandemic, there was only me and a couple other people that came. And I was like, wow, that's really sad because we had a lot more people. But after the pandemic, it's like no one came anymore. But he still continued with that determination. And really, a few years after the pandemic, more and more, one by one, kids start to come back to karate, and they tell their friends, hey, you should come too. And they come. And more kids start to come and bring their friends. And now we have like 14, 15 students. So it's not like a Konko church that got established, but I feel like the energy is very much Konko, where we're really positive, and whoever has any kind of problems or issue or something that's bothering them on their minds, we talk about it. It's like Toritsugi. And Clayton, I listen to his conversations with people who have problems, and it's like, wow, he's doing Toritsugi. He's like a Konko Kyo sensei already. So well, in that way, I feel like it's like an extension of the spirit, the Konko Kyo spirit.
You developed.
But before establishing a brand new church, I want to really bring up the energy of our own church in Wahiwa. And with that energy, yeah, sure, if another church is to be developed, then I think Kami-sama is going to make that happen.
I love your stories. I love your story.
Thank you. I have a question on you, Rin. Since you live far from a church, a physical church, how you practice faith, how to practice Toritsugi mediation?
I do Toritsugi mediation through phone calls or video calls. I do it once or twice a week with various different sensei, or 3 times a week sometimes. I know that sounds like a lot, but to me it's not a lot because it's something I need, and I get different perspectives from different senseis, and it really helps me a lot. I have 2 altars, and I take them, I change the water on them, I pray to them. I light candles. I have my Gorikai with me, my voice of the universe with me. I always study them. I try to, and more than anything, I pray. More than anything else, I pray. I'm not always the best at doing everything every day. I'm not. I'm not perfect. I don't meditate every day. I try to meditate as much as I can. I journal a lot, listen to Kami-sama and everything and everyday thoughts. And sometimes I listen, I try to live my life in a way that is the best representation of my faith and what Kami-sama wants me to do for other people. For me, prayer is mandatory. It's something that I need to live with. I actually started doing the chanting Konko-sama after Edna Sensei started saying how Reiko Sensei says that, and then ironically enough, I had it happen in a dream. That I was a dream I had where someone was possessed in the dream, and I thought that I would try to get some sage or something, but instead I grabbed the person in the dream and started chanting Konko-sama over and over, and then just shaking, and then the person gets saved, and then all the other zombie people come to me in the dream to try to get me to save them as well, and I'm just like, I woke up, I was like, when did this happen? So I developed faith in really interesting ways.
That is funny.
Because I just constantly keep myself praying and constantly keep my eyes and ears open. Because Kami-sama will always talk to me. Will always have something to say from someone else's mouth, someone else's action. I will never not say I'm not blessed. Yes, I may not have money. Yes, I may be very poor. Yes, I may have a lot of situations that happen in my life. I am 100% always look through the blessings. I take every day. I try to write down my gratitudes. I try to live my life and experience it in the fact of and being grateful. And I think the more grateful you are, the more you try to actively look for blessings, the more blessings will come.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things. I have severe mental illnesses, and me having faith helps me a lot get through really, really dark times. One time I went to Toritsugi mediation and I was utterly depressed. And Sensei looked at me and said, "You're depressed." And I said, "I am." And I started crying. But I sat there and Sensei sat there with me and we talked through it. And then a day or so later, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. I'm bouncing back again. I'm not always sunshine. People think that when they meet me that I'm really always upbeat and sunshine. I'm not. I have hard times too. I'll have a lot of hard times, but I get down too. And then I have to tell myself, I can't save anyone if I can't save myself. And Kami-sama will always save me. So I don't have to worry about myself. And then I climb out of that ditch wherever I'm at and keep on trekking because someone needs my help.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. It's amazing.
Yep,
My mom's gonna
amazing.
be happy. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting you, Koichi. My mom's
No,
gonna
no.
be happy that you're saying Konko-sama, because she's like the Konko-sama advocate, and then she's been telling everybody to say that. That's her motto. You could tell if she's in the like a public bathroom, because you will hear 4 claps in the stall. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Any last questions?
For me, I gave all the questions.
Anything?
That was wonderful.
Yeah, just that was something else, man. I would love to see you be able to come to Hawaii one day. We're celebrating your 100th. Just throwing that out there. There is subsidy for people who are coming from out of state. We'd love to have you here one day.
I'd love to come.
Yeah.
Because I know Casey and A celebrating their 100th too. So when are you celebrating your 100th?
Right after them, actually, a couple days
Yeah.
after.
In the same month?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Maybe about a week apart.
Yeah.
No, 3 days later, yeah.
3 days
Good, so-
later?
I think August 12th.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm hoping
week.
to be able to go to San Francisco. I don't know if I can get to Hawaii right afterwards. That'd be crazy though. That would be nice if I could. If Kami-sama makes it happen, I'm around for it. I'll come.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, so I see a lot of conversation with the Kami-sama. Rin try to communicate with the Kami-sama through prayer, listen to Kami-sama, Toritsugi mediation, and learning teaching. That's a communication with Kami-sama. I think that's a big encourage for us. The first Konko-sama said that he prayed that everybody in the world can connect with Kami-sama as much as possible. That's his prayer. So I think right here, the Rin is a good example. So I'd like to hear more story, but I think we should finish over there. So late, yeah, Rin.
It's 11:20.
What?
Yeah. So we should end already. But thank you joining us today on Konko Talk. We appreciate your time and support, and hope you enjoy this episode. And thank you to our guest Rin, and to everyone listening and sharing with friends and family. But don't forget to subscribe to our podcast or YouTube channel so you never miss an episode. For comments or suggestions, email us at konkotalk@gmail.com. Until next time, take care and stay curious. This is Koichi Konko, Amy, Enda, and Rin. Thank you for tuning in. また会いましょう. Thank you
Thank
very much.
you.
Bye.
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 Thank you.